Alrighty, well, good evening. Welcome to our November 25th, 2025 regular meeting of the Waynesboro Area School District Board of Directors. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you and good evening and happy Thanksgiving. I know that school is out of session and parent-teacher conferences are in full swing, at least for the elementary students. So I hope that everyone has a good break. We will move on to our roll call. Ms. Hennicle.
Mrs. Straight here. Mr. Smith
Here.
Sportney here. Dr. Royer here. Mr. Hamburger
Here.
Mrs. Miles here. Mrs. Zimmerman here. Mr. Pence
Here.
Mr. Marvin
Here. All right, that brings us to our agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
You have a first and a second. Dr. Shrine, any changes this evening?
No, there's not.
No changes this evening, so the motion is before you. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That then brings us to the approval of the minutes. These are the minutes from our last regular meeting on November 11th, earlier this month. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Move to approve. Second.
We have a first and a second. Any corrections or changes for last meeting's minutes? All right, seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carries. That then brings us to our superintendent report. Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. Big congratulations to our special education department. I know we have our director, Erica, and our assistant director here, Tammy, as well, and their team for successfully navigating through a very challenging audit. We don't have a final report yet, but overall, the findings were very positive. So nice job, team. Congratulations to the Clayton team and Fairview Elementary for securing second and third place at the November 14th trivia night. There's a big check over here that was awarded to the Clayton team. There were a total of 19 teams from Greencastle and the Tuscarora School District, and Waynesboro was able to secure both second and third place. So well done. You'd already mentioned that we have elementary conferences this evening. Winter sports are up and running, and we are definitely celebrating the passage of both the state and the federal budget. And with the state budget, there were several updates regarding school security as well as some cyber reform. So kudos to the Waynesboro School District and all our efforts in moving towards having some reform within cyber charter. I did share the updates in my Friday folder as a summary, but I'm hoping to feature them as additional changes at the December 2nd reorganization meeting as a presentation, because I'm still waiting on some clarifying information. But celebrating the budget as well as some serious reforms that I think are going to make a difference to our individual budget as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shrine. Any public comment this evening, Ms. Uncle?
I did not receive any.
Great, thank you. That then brings us to our student board reports. Welcome back.
All right, so I'm Zachary Kaiser. I'm the now 11th grade representative for the high school. This is my first time being back here in a while, so it's pretty good to be back. I don't have to report much. Just JRTC, we're doing really well up in Chambersburg. I'm holding my cadets to a high standard, so that's really good. The Veterans Day program went really well. We had a bunch of veterans come in and talk, and it was really helpful. I know a couple of people did. There's a door decorating competition going on right now, which students will decorate the doors of their PLTs and they'll get a reward at the end. I think it's a pizza party, I'm pretty sure. They were doing a 12 days of giving, kind of like school spirit unifier. I think there's a reward for that at the end as well, but it's basically just a spirit week, but for 12 days in honor of Christmas. And then finally, the leader in me is going really well. PLTs are doing leadership projects that can help the community. There are things like pen pals, book drives, food drives, and then stuff for the Antietam Humane Society. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever heard basic training and awesome in the same sentence, but we'll take it. So, and just to compliment one of our other student board reps, Ms. Bowersox is running a district writing competition for the elementary and I believe up through 6th grade. And so compliments to her on getting that organized and look forward to seeing what results of that. That's a great initiative. So that'll bring us then to board reports. We'll start with policy, but we do have a couple items on the agenda later today. So, Mr. Pence.
Yeah, policy committee met on last Thursday, November 20th. We had a lot of discussion about hats at schools. Decided to punt that to the individual buildings because it's a lot different. High school wearing a hat versus an elementary student. So the principals are going to talk about that at the next principal meeting. We talked a little bit about cell phones, about the bill that's up for legislation in PA 1014. So we just kind of chatted about that and we'll act if we have to act. And policy 246, school wellness, we made some changes about recess on that, but that's going to be sent to the wellness committee before it comes for first reading here. And then we have policy 102, 105, and 827 for first reading. And then 122, 123, and 249 for second reading. And I can talk more about that.
Perfect. Yeah, once we get there, that'd be great. Thank you, Mr. Pence. Academic committee, I believe, met last week, and we have some folders here. So anything, Dr. Royer, for us to be aware of on the academic committee side?
Yeah, everybody got some handouts or all the handouts? All of them. Thank you, Diane. Just a couple things. We had a presentation regarding FFA and the presentation. They admin and high school visited some programs. I believe the next step in looking at the future. FFA?
They just call themselves FFA.
FFA, no, yes, what I thought.
No acronym.
They are going to look at doing a student survey, I believe would be the next step. We talked about the state assessments, and there was a slight rise in grade 4 and 5 PSSA scores. That was also presented by Dr. Weinkoop with iReady. The National French Honor Society was presented a presentation, which is on your agenda this evening for approval. The academic committee is recommending that we move forward with approval of that French club. We also discussed colleges available to WASD students, and I believe there's a list. Well, actually, I don't know if we can read it, but I asked Mrs. Hennicle and Nick if they would put it up here. I think, it's very impressive, I believe, in the last 10 years that we have this many presentations, but it's in your folder. And then there's an updated one that Mrs. Pence just put out with the actual cost of some of the colleges, which is as low as like $100 a credit. So I'm sure we can get that emailed to you as well. We talked about AP exam scores. That's in your folder. We talked about Act 158, the graduation path that's required for all our seniors, and the course selections proposed changes. You have that as well, but we're looking at AP government update and new courses proposed for advanced psychology, AP or Pitt College in the high school. Teachers are reviewing the content, and that will be with University of Pittsburgh, AP government and leadership, again with Pitt College in the high school. We are looking at educational psychology, AP business and personal finance, still investigating. These are for the future, and AP US history to 2 credits. And they will be recommending eliminating independent living as a graduation requirement, and then taking that to an elective. And these will all be approved through the course handbook, correct, Dr. McCallum? And I think that's it. Dr. Weinkoop presented about iReady, and she's encouraged by the initial results, still continuing to work on that. Again, looking at potential of a first year dip. We didn't maybe see that as much as we thought, but she's, encouraged is what she's seeing, and the teachers are working really hard. Everyone seems very, I guess, excited that the middle school now has the same program. So we're looking at that continuity K through 8th grade, which I don't believe we've ever had, as long as I can remember. So, and we've kept the Steels and Scientific Method and comprehensive plan for the next meeting.
Great, thank you. facilities and budget did meet last week. Mr. Smith, anything from facilities we ought to know?
Nothing other than just the projects we've been mentioning, the elementary accessibility project, gym, auditorium, so on. Looking to go to bid January 5th. And then so then once we get some of these bids back, then we can have those discussions on it's doable and foresee. And given we have a budget now.
Yes.
We'll have fun.
And the budget committee essentially said we have a budget. Dr. Holtzman, funds have started flowing from the state to the district. They have started and then they're continuing. I think we'll be made whole early December is kind of the initial
That's the
timeline.
game plan. Yeah, I think it's almost $9 million in goal.
Okay.
Pretty quick.
Yep.
So it's almost like they had this already.
It's almost like they had it ready. But not much to report on the budget committee because it is obviously tied to a lot of the facility stuff that Mr. Smith did mention. That will then bring us into business. So personnel, Dr. McCollum.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. We are requesting approval for the personnel items listed. So we have resignations of support staff and coaching staff, termination of support staff, appointments of support staff and coaching staff, approval of Mrs. Carrie Clothier as a long-term sub. She had been a long-term substitute through ESS, and then also 5 requests for leave.
All right, thank you. We did have an executive session before the meeting to discuss various personnel items. This is where we act upon that. So is there a motion to approve the personnel as listed?
Second.
First and a second. We do not discuss personnel in public, so is there any desire to go back into executive session? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And carries. That then brings us to a board resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. So the motion is to approve the resolution as listed.
Alrighty, so is there a motion to approve the resolution as listed?
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Again, this was discussed earlier in executive session. So we will go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor of approving the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I'm gonna abstain for not having enough information.
Thank you, Mr. Prince. That then brings us to our special education transition coordinator job description.
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. So the job description for possible special education transition coordinator is listed in board docs. This would follow a teacher contract. The focus of the position would be on supporting students in grades 6 through 12 as they transition through middle school and high school, into graduation, and then into post-high school work and life in general. So we're requesting approval of the job description so that we could potentially then post and hire somebody for that role.
So the motion is to approve the special education transition coordinator job description. Is there a motion?
Approve.
Second.
A first and a second. Over here, any questions or discussion for Dr. McCallum?
Question. This a budgeted position?
So the, if approved and we were able to secure a candidate, it would be net neutral with our existing staff due to some changes in enrollment.
Okay.
So it's not an additional position.
I also want to clarify, it's a position that's been in existence in the past. We had to rewrite the job description. But we've had the position, so it's not new to the CBA. It has existed. So yeah,
Do we have someone currently doing these functions?
there is a collection of individuals.
Okay.
So this
that-
is to streamline it, but as a result of a consolidation of a class at the senior high school, we're able to essentially create this or recreate it, I should say.
Has this been looked at for like repurposing? Because I know some of our classroom sizes.
Mhm.
That been considered or?
I don't know that I want to speak to that.
So you mean,
For
in essence,
teaching
like
position.
if we have an extra teaching position, so I guess, we were looking at it from the perspective that we were taking a special ed position, consolidating it into creating an opportunity for more of our special ed students to be able to have, an individual to work through the transition process. If I'm remembering correctly, is it still 22 or 21 that they may have the opportunity to stay enrolled at the Waynesboro School District? So the hope is to have them successfully transition out into the community. But you are absolutely correct. We are looking at, we have some higher enrollment numbers in the elementary level. I've identified those particular areas, and I guess my concern at this point, adding another teacher might be problematic, but we can be creative in the use of maybe having additional paraeducator support, but like we are looking at those numbers across the board.
Go ahead, Ms. McDonald.
Does anybody have any specific questions for me? For compliance with special education, indicator 13 is about transition, and there's a whole section of the IEP. And so we're expected to have goals that are looking at kids transitioning from high school on into the community. So this role would be specifically focusing on that part of the IEP. And then also it's called indicator 14, which is exiting. So we are currently going through our indicator 13 audit, looking at where students, we actually contact them the first year, tell them that after they graduate, we're going to be in contact to see what they do after graduation. And so this person would specifically look at our special education population to make sure that we have a lot of students that go on to college or go to a trade school. We then have students that enter the workforce, but there's that little, well, pretty big pocket of students that may not be going to college or may not be going to a trade school, but what are they going to do? And what are they going to do in our community to help us? So it would be a position that would help with getting community services that are available for the special education students, and services that, for example, OBR can support them throughout life, after and through adulthood. So just connecting them with the right resources. Our special education teachers work on doing this right now, but it is a lot about making connections and being able to have boots on the ground and be out in the community to find those positions for our students.
So I guess I never really thought about this, but it's kind of unusual that we don't have a full-time person in this, given our numbers, correct?
Correct.
I'm thinking of other districts. Most districts have this as a full-time position,
Correct.
given the state requirements and things like that.
Yes,
So this is probably a much more efficient than piecemealing it together.
absolutely. And that's one of the things at our audit that we had conversations about, just making sure that that transition section of the IEP is strong and really giving the students what they need for after graduation.
I'm surprised we functioned without it, actually.
I'm excited that we were able to repurpose and then bring it back.
Yeah.
And it was because we've had several move outs, students that moved out of the district. So the numbers that we had at the start of the year are a lot lower than where we started. So
To clarify, that's within the self-contained classrooms.
correct.
I'd be district like to.
For secondary,
For secondary.
usually
for
secondary. And that's why we said like 6 through 12 plus. Because right now students can stay till they're 22 if they need goals that need to be worked on. But it used to be 21. And so one of the goals would be students, they stay till they're 22 if they have goals that they need to work on. So if we can have somebody that's focusing on getting them to be a functioning community member, then they don't need to have those goals because they've met the goals and they can be out in the community working and participating.
Any other questions? Being none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Any abstentions? That brings us to our second reading of policies. So, Mr. Pence.
Yeah, we had three policies up for second reading. Policy 122, extracurricular activities, 123, interscholastic activities, and bullying and cyberbullying. There hasn't been any changes since that I'm aware of.
Thank you very much. So, motions to approve the policies 122, 123, and 249 as listed. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a first and second. Since this is our second reading, any suggested changes would probably need to send this back to the policy committee. So any discussion or questions on this? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That then brings us to the first reading of policies. Again, this is discussion only. After the first reading here, we'll go back to policy and then come back for a second reading and a vote then. So, Mr. Pence, anything on these first reading of policies?
Not too much. 102 academic standards, we had no changes. Move to take that to the first reading. 105 curriculum. There was some added some special things for I guess they're from the state.
Constitution Day is national as well as.
Constitution Days and US flag etiquette. As like activities for those days. And then policy 827, conflict of interest, didn't have any changes to that based on what.
Any discussion or comments that we can provide for the policy committee as they consider these? Policy committee will meet again, so if there are any questions or follow-ups, please let Mr. Pence know, or you can attend the policy committee meeting and bring that up to them then. All righty, we'll go ahead. If there's no other discussion on this, move on. Okay, the Yellow Breaches Education Center and WASD agreement for the 25-26 school year. Dr. Starline?
Thank you, Mr. Marvin. So the motion is to approve this contract with Yellow Breaches for WASD learner.
Alrighty, so the motion is to approve the Yellow Breaches Education Center and WASD agreement 25-26 as listed. So is there a motion to approve?
Approve.
Second.
A first and a second. Again, this was discussed in executive session as it related to a student need, but any desire to go back to that?
My question is this for the remainder of the entire year? Yeah, so our vote, if we vote yes now, are we
No.
voting to say yes to the entire remainder of this year?
My understanding, and Ms. States is in the audience, is that it is an expectation that there is a total sum, but we will be invoiced for 7 monthly installments. So I believe that would be reflected beginning the effective date, which has already started, for the duration of the time
That the student's attending.
that the student is attending.
So the student were to stop attending, we would obviously stop being invoiced. Okay.
So in some of our other alternative educational placements, we pre-purchase slots in advance. Oftentimes when you pre-purchase slots, you get a reduced rate. In this particular case, this is the rate. And so we're going to be billed as long as the student is in attendance there. But if the student would elect to attend another facility or return to the school district, our payments will stop. So it's a contract to essentially say that our student is going, but it doesn't require us to pay for the duration of the school year.
Any other questions related to the contract itself? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Any abstentions?
I'd like to abstain because I'm confused about the whole situation.
Well, that need more information, Ms. Hennikel. Alrighty, we will move then to school bus drivers.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We just have two drivers, one for both of our major contractors asking for your approval.
Alrighty, so the motion is to approve the school bus drivers as listed. Is there a motion?
So moved.
There a second? Alright, all those in favor of approving the school bus drivers as listed, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carries. That then brings us to the Washington National French Honor Society.
Thank you. So as Dr. Royer mentioned in her board committee report, we had a presentation from 2 students as well as the French teacher at the academic committee meeting on the 18th in support of adding National French Honor Society, and the academic committee was in support of that, and we are as well. So we are requesting approval of that club.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the National French Honor Society as a club at Washes. Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Or second?
Second.
All right. Any questions or discussion on this item? Dr. Royer said this did come through the academic committee meeting, so it's before us. And no other discussion. We'll go ahead and move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That then brings us to our financial business. Dr. Holtzman, can we do items 1, 2, and 3 together, please?
Yes, sir. So we have purchase orders and bills for payment. Those are general fund as well as cafeteria, treasurer's report, and we also have exonerations from JP Harris for September and October. These are the old, I believe they're both occupation and per capita bills.
Thank you very much. So, is there a motion to approve the financial business items 1, 2, and 3?
So moved.
There's a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any questions or discussion related to the financial business?
I do have a question. I saw in the exonerations. So we have exonerations for Quincy and for Monalto, but there are no exonerations for Waynesboro or Washington Township.
Sure. They do come on the line every so often. They kind of do them in groups and bunches, so we'll have them at times for both parties as well. But we did have per capita and occupation in all of those entities. So it's kind of like a batch situation for that company. They'll hit different areas of our school district at times with those exonerations. But I can go back and find out when the last time we exonerated the other
Oh, it's
municipalities. But
okay. I
yeah,
just.
we're not just picking on them or giving them an advantage, right? Yeah, to that point.
Yeah, so it's basically JP Harris that works on batches. And so that's why we're getting 2 of our districts, but 2 not.
That's correct.
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Yeah, at some point, the per capita will, well, I think in this case here, I think they're both zeros, I guess. No, we had a couple per capita left, but they're dating all the way back. The most recent is 2015. So they're kind of winding down at this point. We don't even put a budget number in there because it's so small at this point.
Any other questions on the financial business? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor of approving, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Who carries? That then brings us to our Clayton cabinet comments. Anything from our Clayton team?
I have 2. So round 1 of the high school WGAL Brain Busters that featured our Washes team aired last Sunday. It was a very exciting match where they won by 5 points. We did already film the next episode, and that is going to air on January 24th. So you'll have to stay tuned to see the outcome.
Real quick, Dr. Mo, so 5 points, is that a blowout or is that like a last second field
Well,
goal?
Dr. Kopko and I had the privilege of both being in the
Okay.
audience, and it was very exciting game. We were well over 100 points behind at the beginning.
Oh, wow.
And so it really did come down to there. I forget what they call it, but there's one question where they get to wager. And so there was just some strategy in the
Sounds like
wager.
Final Jeopardy.
Uh-huh.
Get it.
Yes, which
Okay.
is similar to what happened with us at trivia.
Nice.
And then on a more serious note, so on November 3rd, Mr. Erickson and I worked with the building admin and we implemented restrictions to the district Chromebooks that restrict the amount of hours that students can access them. So last Friday, I did my typical last Friday of the month messaging to our families, and that included a survey for people to give feedback. One person did point out I had a typo, so I apologize for that. But they still have until December 2nd to give feedback. And when Nick and I looked at it yesterday, we had about 95 responses already, mostly from our families, but students have the ability to get on there and give feedback. We had 5 students so far. So once they're done on the 2nd, Nick and I will take a look at the results, work with the building admin, and then if we're going to make any adjustments, probably roll that out in January, but we'll also work on how we're going to share that with the board and the community.
Can you tell us what times for each of the, I mean, the elementary kids are cut off.
I think it's 8 p.m. for K-3. And yes, I have a Canva. I'm just not gonna be able to get it quick enough. Yes, I
It's
think it's
midnight
10
for high
p.m.
school?
for 4th grade through 8th grade. And then midnight for high school. And we did have, lively discussion about that.
I had a
administratively,
complaint
but
from a parent.
we talked about, I think there was a desire to maybe make it a little earlier. But
Oh, yeah.
depending on the sport, if you are a student athlete, like we play Mifflin County, so you may be getting back not until that time.
Right.
When I played Mifflin County, I got back at like 11:15 at night then.
Yeah.
So it was
And you probably dismissed early from school to
Yeah.
get there, so.
And my complaint was jobs that run
Mhm.
late at night and
Yes.
still needed to do coursework and.
Yeah, so I had a phone call from a parent. I know Mr. D'Angelo's had a couple. But we want the feedback. So it was a brand new setting that was
Yeah.
available to us in Google Chrome. So we thought we'd. give
So
it a
what's the
try.
middle between K-3 is 8 p.m. and high school's midnight? What,
So grade 4
10.
through 8 is 10.
4 through 8 is 10 p.m. Okay.
I assume the Chromebooks are limited to access of only school websites.
Yeah, so Mr. Erickson might be able to better speak to that, but we have 2 different monitoring systems that are, it's called Go Guardian. So the first one is kind of flagging the content for like things that are inappropriate, but then they also added a level where it's flagging for content that would cause us to be concerned about a student's safety and overall well-being. And then we had sent some messaging to families about that second piece that's called Beacon. They have the ability to provide additional restrictions for their own child's Chromebook outside of school hours. And then if there's like something very concerning about self-harm, it'll actually prompt a notification to the family. And if that is not received, then it will go to a member of the admin team to intervene.
So the kid can't get in the general web, can't log on to TikTok or
That's
something?
during those restricted hours, that's correct. They get like a notification that it's not available at this time.
But ordinarily they can Google almost anything, can't, I mean, yeah.
Yes, and then, depending on the content.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I know when we were doing Imagine Learning, there was like a lesson and nobody knew why, but everybody was getting a flag for this one lesson and it was innocuous. And with the system, we have the ability to go in and say like, that was not an alert, like that was not concerning. And
Right.
but then there's been
Right.
other things that I've been very appreciative that we've had because we've been able to intervene and provide supports for students that really needed them. So it's kind of like safe to say, it's kind of like if a student hears something about somebody, that they want to share. This is kind of just if that student's not voicing that to anybody else and just searching. That's all that I have.
From our.
Did you want to say something else?
I was just gonna clear it up. Yeah, it just basically Go Guardian hides stuff that the school district, your teacher, or the principals deem like inappropriate for you to like. You could try searching stuff, but then it will like flag you and.
More stories, don't search for bad stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Is there a time in the morning then when they're okay?
Yes. Yes, I think it's like 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
and 6 a.m. for K to 3. Eight, thank you.
With 5 a.m. for high
I
school
had
kids.
I put it in the Friday folder and stuff like
Okay.
that. I won't be able to pull it up quickly enough to.
Right,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. It's linked in the survey.
okay.
Anything else from our Clayton team?
I do. Well, words. So on behalf of the Waynesbury School District, I want to express our sincere appreciation to Dr. Wendy Royer, Mr. James Marvin, and Mr. Mark Smith for the countless hours they invested at WASD to make this place a better school district. Each of you have demonstrated outstanding leadership and integrity in your role as a board member, a committee chair, and served as an overall amazing advocate for public education. We will forever be grateful for your investment of your time and energy for the benefit of all WASD staff, learners, and community. We are wishing you the very best. And though we are excited to welcome 3 new board members, all of you will be greatly missed. Thank you so much. We do have some parting gifts, but we can call the meeting adjourned.
We'll do that.
And then-
We're not gonna break any records tonight, but we
Okay,
can.
that's okay. So,
Yeah,
7:22.
very
Is your
good.
record.
Hi, there you go.
No.
May it be broken. Yeah. I appreciate that, Zach, Mr. Kaiser.
Oh, 7:22.
I know, right? Well, thank you for those kind words, Dr. Schernerheim. Any board member comments?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I in the season of Thanksgiving, I'm grateful, very grateful and honored to be able to serve on the board here. And it was James, myself, and Rachel came on as post-COVID, and so we missed a lot of the excitement.
Yeah, you did.
Hallelujah. We missed most of the excitement. But I'm thankful to Karen Harrell, who reached out to us to kind of get us acclimated the board, and Dr. Klein and Dr. Shong along the way there. And then with Dr. Sternerheim taking over, and basically it was seamless. We always felt, and I think I can speak for the rest of the board members, we always feel informed. We know what's going on. We're the first to hear, or second to hear. So the communication has always been excellent, and we've been able to see what it's like to have a financially responsible, fiscally responsible, and organized district under the leadership of Dr. Holtzman. So we've been very fortunate as a board. It makes it easier because we haven't had to deal with a lot of those things that creep on Facebook, which we do not allow to run or lead the board, if you will. So very grateful to be able to serve on the board in the community. And the secret, the secret is that this school district has been doing well, considering the fact that, as we've learned over the past few years, we've been under budget, underfunded, but we're still doing well, and we're competing with those districts that are getting the adequate funds. So that speaks to the people in the trenches, the teachers here in the district, the administrators, the people who take care of the grass, the cleanliness of the room, the food, all of that is not an accident. And so once again, I'm just grateful.
Anything else from our board? Absolutely.
So I just want to thank the district for giving me a lot of opportunities since 1988 when I started with the district. Dr. Sternerheim and I have been together in different roles the entire time. A lot of opportunities could come back here in 2010 when I left, and 98, I never thought I would be returning. Also never thought I would be on the school board. So I really thank the opportunity of being on the board for the past 8 years. So it will be very strange not being involved in the district after 13 years. 15 years since 2017, so 2010. So yeah, it'll be very, very strange, but I do want to say that it's been an honor to work with the administrative team. You know, I've often said that, you know, this is one of the hardest working I can say that because I've worked with a few, some of you haven't. We have very talented administrators, and I've worked for 7 superintendents in my career, and Dr. Sterner High is by far my favorite. Not only in terms of her skills and creativity that she brings to the district, but just also her leadership. District is in. I will tell you, Dr. McCallum, also, you know, when I hired you, in 2010, I was not very proud of our high school. And I can say now, 15 years later, it's just an incredible transformation. And, you know, I think our elementary schools have always been strong. I think our middle school is strong, but I think the high school has probably made the big over the past decade. So congratulations to you and your leadership. And Dr. Kopko, I know you'll keep it going. Thanks, Leader.
Any other board member comments?
I only want to say that we are gonna miss you 3.
Yeah, very much.
Maybe I'll come and hang out at board meetings.
I will just conclude by saying thank you. I think Waynesboro is a great place to live and work and to go to school. Dr. Royer, could I get a motion to adjourn? And then Mr. Smith, could I get a second?
Yeah, move to adjourn.
Second.
All right.
That was sweet, Mr. Moore.
I got my moments, not many, but I'll take them. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I'm gonna say no, just for the record.
And that's probably the first nay on an.
I will, yes, so. But all of you, thank you very much. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. And all the best to our incoming board members. Thank you.